那今天怎么样？
今天我很好，你呢？
对，也很好。对，今天的课多不多？
没有，不多，
不多。
不多。
对，一共有几堂？
呃，今天我一堂课，
今天一堂课。
对，
对，那今天的事情多不多？事情这个 things matters normally in a sentence of this type to take care of。
呃不多，
不多，
不多，
不多。好，你的生词学的怎么样？生
很
词
好，
很好啊，
嗯。
都没有问题吧？
没有问题。我有一个问题，
你
我们的
有一个问题。
我们的小考在哪儿？在 K
你们的小考的话，等一下会在这个荧幕上。Yeah, I would actually share the actually the screen. Yeah, with the questions. Yeah, on it. 所以呢，你们小考的话是这个可以用这个笔和纸。Okay, you can actually write on a sheet of paper. Okay, and after you're done, then can send it to me. 对，
对，
等一下我也会跟别的学生说。对，好，你这个星期都还好吗？这个星期，对，this week，对，
对，
都还好吗？
很好。
都很好对，会不会比较忙？
我一点忙。
有一点忙，对，都忙什
对，
么？
是学习，
都忙
学
着学
习，
习。
都
很
忙学习。
好。
对，
都忙着学习你的课有没有比较难的？你的课有没有
我的课
对
有没有？
比较难的？难，
呃，
对，
我们的课不太难。
不太难啊。
对，
所以你学习都没什么问题啊。
呃，
应该没有。
我
应该没有什么问题
没有问题。
应该没有问题。哈哈哈哈。你这个周末打算做什么？
呃，
周末打
周
算
末，
对。
我不知道。
还不知道。对，那你平常常常出去吗？平常就是这个 normally usually 常常出去吗？
like
出
what do I
去，
usually do？
出去呢是这个 literally means go out。OK，对，你平常常常出去吗？So the sentence means that do you normally go out often？
我平常
对，平常对。
平常去，对我
对，平
对
常
我平常
平常常常出去常常出去。对，那个 often go out to different places。
对。
你最喜欢到哪儿去，或者最喜欢做什么事？
呃，我 我最喜欢，
对，
嗯，我不知道。
对，不知道。对，那你散不散步？散步是这个那个 walking，take a walk，对啊，散步。对，
散步，
你散不散步
嗯
？Positive and negative form of
嗯
question。你 or you can make it a full, yeah, 散步不散步. But normally, in this case, when you have two syllable word, then they would just drop one. Yes, 散步散步。
散步，
你散不散步？
我散步，
你散步，对，你平常都到哪儿去散步？
对，
对，到哪儿去散步？
我
对，
我散步，在北了大学，
在贝勒大学。好，
嗯
你一个人散步还是跟朋友一起散步？
我我和我的朋友
和你的朋
散
友一
步，
起散步
对，
啊？对，这个都是白天散步，对不对？不在晚上散步。
我
对
呃，
对，白
对，
天是这个 broad daylight
嗯哼，
啊，这个
对，
大部分都是在白天散步啊。对，那个 normally in the broad
对，
daylight，因为晚上不太安全啊，it's less safe，
对，
not as safe as during the day 啊，对，所以应该不是啊，不是这个晚上散步啊，对，
对，
那你平常你都常去什么地方？
呃
去图书馆吗？
呃，对，
去图书
我去
馆，
图书馆，
对，图书馆。
嗯，
对，你出去的时候啊，都戴口罩吗？口罩是这个
口，
mask，口
对，
罩呢 means cover，叫口罩，对，
对，
都戴口罩啊，对，那个如果人多的话，还可以戴那个脸罩。If it's crowded, then you can wear the shield. shield，因为这个口罩呢
我
，is not 100% 这个 proof。对，你有没有脸罩？
我没有脸
你
罩，
没有脸罩啊，这个样子，对，那个你没有脸罩，那就不要到人多的地方去啊。对，那 the best thing to do when you don't have a shield is not to get into a crowd 啊。对，好，
对，
怀特来了，怀特今天怎么样？
今天还不错。
还不错。
我在隔离quarantine，因为我觉得我的宠物生病了，所以我隔离了。
哦，你现在这个被隔离了啊？
对对对对，
隔离
所以明天我会上我的 COVID 考试。
这个样子，对，好，
糟糕，真倒霉，糟糕。
真倒霉，糟糕，没关系啊。
对，现在我觉得我不生病了，可是I'd rather be safe than sorry。
对，啊，这个还好你没生病。
哎，怀特，
对，
嘿，
怀特，你Dave 给你一个电子邮件，他们说他们就给你a $8 certificate 吗？
的还没给我，可是不要。
那他们的电子邮件是说，如果你去 COVID screening，他们就给你一个 certificate。
真的吗？
不是，他不会给你啊。
不再给我。
我上当了。
所以你自己要去啊？They expect you to go, yeah?
Yeah.
这个样这个他们应该，既然你被隔离since you're in quarantine， 他们应该到你这地方来。They should actually come to your place. You are in quarantine.
Yeah.
对，对，伟伟今天怎么样？
今天不错，可是我很累。
很累，对，
很累。
为什么很累？
我昨天写了2个的laboratory 的研究课的 report。
对，昨天写了2个研究你最近要写很多的东西啊？
对对，你说的对啊，我花了很多时间。
花很多时间对。那你现在还在隔离吗？
还在啊。
还在隔离。
我感觉下星期的星期一是 they'll release me。
好，周一下星期一你就可以解除隔离。对，好，那个 William 今天怎么样？
今天不错。
今天不错，对，
今天不错。我一点累，但是我的今天的课文很好，所以今天不错。
今天不错感觉到很好，对，好，那个伊安娜今天怎么样？对，
我今天挺好的，我刚做了那个我的 peer leading， 我的 peer group 刚跟我的 peer group 见了面，在 Zoom 上，在网上见了面。
在网上，对，好，那个你常常外出吗？
我平常除了在外面遛狗都不怎么出去。
除了遛狗。
因为我只有一门课是 hybrid 课，但是是一个 lab， 所以我每个月只去2次。
每天去
都是在网上上的。
网上那个 lab 的那网上了。好，那这样好，对，这个，所以遛狗的时候要戴口罩吧？戴口罩。
除非有的时候，如果我很早起来，比如说7点多去外面，就不会有很多人。但是平常现在人都得戴口罩。
对，那个早起时就不戴了对。好，那这个我们那个小考呢，就是这个，我等一下让你们考那个考题then we would get to see those questions and new words, okay, on the screen 那你们呢可以用那个纸和笔把那个答案给写下来You can write down the answers 那个 handwrite the characters, okay, in English words. 写完了以后，那用这个你们的电邮传给我and then send image, an image or picture of the sheet to me by email. Okay, 这个样子是比较这个方便一点I think it's more convenient to use 电邮 email 对。好，这个微微的这个纸和笔对，都有纸和笔好，那这个我们看看那个试题你这个写完了，然后呢，你也给发给我以后after you have sent me your file of answers, okay， 那个时候的话，用那个 chat 跟我说 done。这样我知道写完了，好，下边，对，好，这个 好，就是这5个英文的生词和5个中文的生词啊，对。Of course, translate the English words into Chinese using characters, okay, and then vice versa, translate Chinese words, okay, into English, define those words. OK， 开始写啊，写完了寄来了，就跟我说。
老师，所以写完了就用手机照一张是吧？然后发过去。
对，是这样子，对。Two. 怀特写完了啊，对，啊。对，怀特还在发是吧？Trying to send it。
对啊，我记得我给你
应该发出来了啊。
对发出来，对。
对 ，Yeah, I didn't see your message in the chat
哦，我忘了，对不起。
你忘了，好，没关系。对，好。下周一啊，有一篇第一篇那个作文啊，the first day essay is due next Monday. Okay, as we have mentioned, since today we have the quiz, and then we will move it back by one session. Okay, and so 周一的那个作文呢，就是那个我的暑假，就是我们在第一堂课的时候说过了啊，那这个作文的话，用那个手写handwrite the essay 因为这个中文的话它呢是需要写的，中文的话跟这个画画很相近Chinese writing in image, okay, in form is very close to painting, 画画所以你呢学中文写字就一定要常常用手写then you are expected to handwrite the Chinese character. 这就像学你那个练习画画一样 ，it's like practicing painting. If you don't actually paint the pictures 这个的话你那个画呢就画的不好那个字的话writing handwrite the characters actually help the Chinese remember the characters 所以你这个你常常打字的话 if you type the Chinese characters in no time you are going to lose track of the characters 这个话guaranteed 所以呢这个学那个中文的时候一定要这个用手写练习汉字so send the handwritten version to me 这样这是你们的作文好，那我们呢可以开始看这个我们那个叶安娜有问题。
我有个问题，就是好像你以前说过，但是就是这个作文你是想要 double space 是吧？
对对，很好。
然后是多长？就差不多一张纸吗？还是？
对，一页。
一页 OK。
对，
好的。
我忘了，对这个 every other line in the way double space 那这个 one page 对 if you write in overflows to the following page 不必担心don't worry 对可以but in general 就是一张就行了对因为我们今天那个小考我们以前说过了小考的话那就这个我们就不看视频不做那个加分的练习了 我们就可以直接呢看这个我们的这课文。好，这个那新的课文这个地方这个任恩娜这个念第一句啊。对。
第三个课文，
对，第三个课文，
对，宋朝的政争对中国现代的政治有特殊的启发作用。
好，下句特别长，the following sentence is long, so it's good to take a break here. 对，政争这个政呢是政治的政used in the phrase to refer to politics. Okay. 这个它的这个政我们说过了we have actually gone over the character 这个政我记得应该这个写过吧这个 on the left, okay, that's the image of footprint. Okay, so you have footprint there. Okay, and on the top, now it's a horizontal stroke. 但是原来的话 originally, it's actually a fortress. Okay, so under the fortress, you have a footprint. And 在甲骨文 in the oracle bones, you have more than one footprint on the right, and then you have another footprint on the left. And then on the top, even on the top, okay, you have a footprint. Okay, so 4 footprints indicating that this fort or fortress is surrounded, besieged fortress. 所以这个字的话 by itself, 正 originally meant to conquer. The enemies somehow have surrounded the fortress. Okay, and the modern character conquer has the walking radical on the left. Okay, that's the modern form. Okay, but it is actually the image of crossroad. That's the modern character for to conquer. 争, okay, and 争, the following character, to fight, to strive. Okay, that has instead of footprint, you actually have hand on the top. 我们说过了在甲骨文的手 in the oracle bone script, okay, the hand is actually the image of a bird. Okay, 在它下边the bottom part, okay, is another hand. Okay, so you have another hand, and in between that's the short form for actually the full character has the body. And that's the character for 牛, 牛奶的牛. So that's a short form, okay? This one is a short form of the bull or cow, the top part. That's the horn, the lethal weapon. So when you have two hands, one on the top, one at the bottom, meeting with each other, okay, in a way, okay, like encountering the horn of a bull. You know, a fight is coming up. Okay, 争 that means fight. Okay, so it's 争争 the fight in politics. Okay, so 争争 or political struggle. Okay, you just imagine that when you have to tangle the horn of a bull, you are in trouble, to say the least. Okay, so you have 争争 political struggle, okay, fight. 然后在这个 right after that 对呢 preposition, so to, toward, or about, on, depending on the context. 对，在下边 okay, toward the almost to the end, okay, 启发，启呢 you have a mouth at the bottom. On the top is actually the single pane door. Okay? When you have the two pane door, okay, that will be somewhat like, as you can see, okay, there will be okay. And then this is the two pane door. And that's a traditional character for door. Okay? And this is the kind of a door that one normally sees in a Western movie. Okay? You push them away, okay? Then you enter the hall, the building. Okay? So this one has only one, okay, one door, okay, and the mouth at the bottom. So the combined image of a mouse approaching or at the door means to ask, and the opposite, and to tell. And from telling, you get a sense to reveal. So it's an image of asking for instructions when a person is not sure about a location of a place or whatnot. Okay, so 启 means to reveal, to open, okay, open the door, okay, in a sense. Okay, and the 发 to issue, to take off, okay, set forth. Okay, 作用, okay, 做 to do and to use, they are synonyms. Okay, used as a noun means a function or effect. Okay. 好，这地方这个人人呐，翻一翻啊这一句。
So, Song Dynasty's political fights have had a revealing effect on Chinese politics?
对，现代
modern Chinese politics?
对 modern Chinese politics. 然后呢above, okay, actually before 启发 reveal, okay, there's a 特殊 special special revealing effect. So it casts a special illuminating effect on 现代中国的政治啊，对。好，下边这个怀特念一念啊。
I keep muting myself. All right. 自清末开始，西方列强动静对清朝的生存过程威胁。形势如同宋朝与辽金、蒙古对峙一般。
对
峙一般，对。清朝的改革呼声也如同宋朝一般，因应而起，开始实施自强运动。
对，好，就到这地方啊。第二个逗点的前边啊，对。西方列强啊，列呢，它的右边是一个刀子 ，it's a knife on the right， 左边呢 ，it's an image of an urn, like an ash urn, and we know that the urn, in ancient China, was commonly used to store ashes of a dead person after that person was cremated. So you have the combined image of a knife, executing a person. From there, you get the sense of display, because in ancient China, after a person was unfortunately executed, either actually very often before the execution and after the execution, the person will be put on display. There will be a parade in the city to so to speak, teach people a lesson not to follow the unwanted example. So here has a sense to exhibit, to display. And very often, since by implication, when you have an exhibit, a display, especially works of art, there will be people, lots of people around to look at it. So from there, you get a sense of various, many. So 列强, strong. So literally that means various, strong, by implication, countries. That means Western powers, plural form. 在下边第三个逗点的前边 before the third comma, 威胁。威呢 it's a compound image of a lance, a spear, on the right. Wei is rather similar to the image of 我. Clear. So 我 was based on the image of a lance or spear, and if you like, specifically, it's an image of a halberd with some kind of like an axe attached to the blade. And so you have a halberd, and under the halberd, that's the image of a poor woman. And in this case, okay, you have a woman crossing her hands, kneeling there, okay. So it's a compound image of using the halberd weapon to intimidate this poor woman. So win means to intimidate, to threaten, okay. Can also be used as a noun, okay. 蝎的话, it has the strands character, okay. And on either side, there are two dots because originally in the traditional form, it's a triplicate image of the force, strength, okay. And so it's a compound image of using tremendous force, okay. And then the radical on the left, okay, it looks like moon, but it's not, okay. In modern writing, the character for moon is mixed up with actually the character for flesh, okay, muscles in this case. So it's a compound image of using one's muscles, okay, to generate tremendous force. For what? Currently, the meaning is related to we intimidate. In other words, is a character of the show of force, both we and xie. Okay, so there are synonyms there. And then after, okay, the 1, 2, 3, okay, third character. Somewhat toward the beginning, there is the word 改革. 改, on the right, you have the hand holding the tool, okay, instrument. And on the left, okay, that's a phonetic symbol. And also it's the image of distortion, twisting. And so you use a tool to work on an object, making it twisted. So 改呢 is to inform. 革 on the top is actually the image of somewhat slightly abbreviated image of the horn. Okay. And then you have under the horn representing the body, and there is a curve there indicating the height of the curve being removed. So 革呢 has a sense of to remove the hide from a bull, or is a lamb or sheep, okay, somewhat okay, similar. Okay, so 改革, they are synonyms, okay, to reform. Okay? And you can see from the image of a character that they normally do not connote positive meaning. Imagine that you have to remove the skin from a person, as one does, okay? With a bull, is by no means a pleasant feeling, okay? And so 改革呢, the Chinese in general don't like to reform, okay? They would rather somehow stick to the long tradition, okay? 改革在下边, okay? And then the last part, okay? 运动, 运, that's to move. 动, synonym, also to move, okay? So move also has the character for force, okay? As in show of force, okay? 运呢, you have walking radical on the left and then phonetic symbol, okay? And that's in a simplified style, okay? That's a character for cloud as a wisp of cloud, okay? And the meaning of a cloud, of course, is also related to that of movement, since a cloud normally moves in the sky, okay? And so 运动 together, move, or used as a verb, used as a noun, movement, 运动。好，这地方怀特翻一翻啊。
Okay, so I guess so. Since is that like 期末开始 like the beginning of the end, right?
Yeah, that's
so, like,
right.
Since the end of the Qing dynasty, Western powers have like intimidated or like gone more eastward, and they like posing a threat to the survival of the Qin dynasty.
对。
The situation was like when the Song dynasty confronted the Liao, Jin, and Mongu, so Mongolia.
对。
I think that's just about it. So yeah, it was like the situation was like the confrontation or whatever between the Liao, Jin, and Mongolia.
对。好，那个
老师，我愿意读了下一次的。
有什么？请再说一次这个伟伟。
我愿意读下的句子。
哦，你愿意读下个句子啊？对，好，对，那个 I thought that White read the latter part of a second sentence 啊，这个样子。那个 That's the reason why I went over the last word. 对，那个第一句啊 ，Yeah, before you get to read that part, OK， 第一句自清末开始啊，这个地方的话啊，开始 ，That's the image 开呢 is the image of two hands at the bottom, and then a horizontal stroke on the top, meaning to remove the bar that locked up the door, the gate. Okay, so that means to open. 使 synonym. Okay, so to begin, to open. Okay, so beginning with literally the end or the close of the Qin dynasty. Okay, so you can, of course, along with 字. Okay, since. Okay, since the closing part. Okay, the last part of the Qin dynasty. 对，好，这个样子啊，这个伟伟要念啊，那就由伟伟念。
好，那是句子吗？是日本在的句子，或者在甲午战争的句子。
哦，对，这个从那个日本好了。
什么？
从那个日本，对 ，you can begin with a sentence. Okay, 日本。
OK， 好，日本在明治维新成功以后，加入西方列强的行列。基于中国成了清朝最大的威胁。
对，威胁啊，对，it's a very handy word. It's almost like bully. You almost get to see bully just about any place, anywhere. 威胁，对，好。那这地方的话，这个在第一部分 before the first comma, okay, 成功，成的话 it's also related to the character 我 which is the image of halberd, lance. So apparently the ancient Chinese associate the identity of self with weapon. Okay, you guard yourself against your enemy. 对，弓的话 you have a muscle on the right and the phonetic symbol on the left. Okay, that means work. 成功 you accomplish the work and you succeed. 对，在第二行最后边 the last part of the second line, okay, right before comma, 行列，行的话 that's the image of the crossroads, okay, that I just draw. Okay, so 行呢 it means ranks, files, or rows. Okay, they are related to crossroads. Okay, and 列 as in 列强. Okay, so in this case, okay, means ranks, okay, related to exhibit. Okay, 在这个最后的话那个last comma 成功的成 and here used in the sense to accomplish, 对 to become, okay, and to constitute. 对，好，这个地方这个伟伟，你可以从这个清朝那地方开始翻啊。We should have actually done the translation, the latter part of a previous sentence, but maybe you get the extra job. You can start your translation with
这样整个句子吗？
从那个清朝 beginning with the latter part of the previous sentence, 清朝的改革. You see that? Yeah, that's one, two. Yeah, two actually. Some 2 lines before the sentence that you just read.
真的吗？
对，
真的吗？
从清朝的改革。
清朝改革。清朝改革。我找到了。
找到了啊。
改革改革是什么意思啊？To reform 好。
对 ，to reform 呼声，呼的话 ，mouth radical indicates the meaning to shout, to yell. 声。
真对不起
没关系。好吧。
我开始清朝的改革呼声也如同宋朝一般应运而起，开始施展自强运动。
对，是那个实施，对，实施。对，诗的话，跟你们学的那个游泳的那个游很像，记不记得那个游那个诗好，诗的话，它右边呢是一个方字，跟左边上边这个字呢是合在一起的These 2 parts actually constitute radical. It's rather unusual in a Chinese character. Okay? If you see the original image, you should be able to understand why this radical actually consists of 2 parts. Okay. 那个像什么？对，这个像什么？ The William What does the image resemble?
A banner on a spear.
You got it. That's a character in 甲骨文 Oregon script. Banner. 所以呢 that is the reason why that you have a banner now extends to the far right. So together they constitute a radical. Okay? Banner radical. 诗. And that's the meaning of the character. Okay. 诗的话 means to practice, to enforce, okay? And to implement, and that has a lot to do with giving the command. Okay, and the banner we know in an army, okay, is associated with command, okay? Action, order. So you have here 诗, okay, and the bottom part, okay, that's the image of 野. 野的话 originally that's an image of a nasty creature. 有没有人知道它是什么东西? Anyone who wants to guess? What kind of nasty creature is that?
是蛇吗？
非常好。
是
Wonderful. 对，是蛇。It's the image. 什么样的蛇？
是不是叫那些就是一些 cobra？
对，眼镜蛇啊。Indeed, it's an image of a cobra with angry, expanded neck. 这样说诗的话even though it's used as a phonetic symbol, it also, the meaning is also related to it. It's like an angry cobra. Okay? You have to be very careful. Okay? And so 诗呢 to put into action. 对，诗对。So 实的话 that's the real, true. That means the mean business. Okay? The play for real. Okay? 好，这地方好，这实施这个 practice implement。好，这地方这个薇薇到哪儿去了？对 ，We need you for the translation。对，
对。The Qing dynasty's call for reform was similar to the Song dynasty's actions. They started, and as a result, they started the self-reliance movement. 对吗？
对，音韵 ，OK， 这个应的话应该的应 should used as an auxiliary verb, okay, and used as a verb, okay, it's to respond, 叫做应韵的话 movement, so it's in response to the movement of events, okay, and so the call, the demand for reform in the Qing dynasty, okay, actually occurred in response to the occurrence of events or movement of events, or if you like, the course of events. 韵 Then 在下一句 following part, the following sentence.
杨老师，再说一遍，你刚才你说的 call for reform in the Qing dynasty， 然后最后我就没写下来。
对，这个 is also like the Song dynasty. That means the reform in the Song dynasty. Okay, in response to literally the movement of events or the course of events. Okay, so.
OK.
It's 对，因为这个宋朝 它受到辽、金和蒙古的威胁啊。宋呢 was confronted by first Jurchens, Jin or Liao, the nomads in north eastern China. Okay, today is primarily Manchuria. Okay, 那最后呢，宋朝Song Dynasty was destroyed by Jurchens. Okay, and then you had the Southern Song Dynasty, as opposed to the first part of a Song Dynasty that came to an end of as a result of an invasion from the nomads, okay, in the northeast of China. And so you have a second Song Dynasty. And then the second Song Dynasty was confronted by the even more terrifying group of people, Mongols. Mongols at that time, not only march south into China, but they march west all the way to Europe. 所以呢，这个是the Song Dynasty. They under the threat from the nomads, they had to reform as a kind of response to the events. 那清朝Qing Dynasty, the last dynasty in China, they also had to respond to the events, have the Western powers somehow had arrived at their doorstep, and they need reform. So 这两个呢是这个非常相像 ，they are similar to each other. 好，在下边伟伟翻一翻啊。
好，日本在is that sense right？
对。
Okay, 好。After the success of the Meiji Restoration in Japan, they began to join the ranks of Western powers. And so they began to cover China, making a very big threat to the Qing dynasty.
对，最大啊，对
Big threats.
对 ，the biggest threat 。因为西方列强Western powers when you study modern history, you know that they were primarily interested in reaping the benefits, profits from carrying out the trade. That's their major concern. They wanted to make sure that the trade was fair. And they, in general, tended not to actually to occupy the whole China. And then, of course, 苏俄俄国 Russia was somewhat different because Russia was actually China's neighbor. So they certainly had the intention of annexing more land from China. But in general, Western powers, they just wanted to do the trade. But 但是日本it's also a neighbor of China. And also 日本呢国家非常小，土地很少 it's a very small country. And it needs, as it still does now, it needs land. And China has a vast land. 所以呢日本的话从一开始 from the beginning they wanted to have more land, and they try to find it in China. 所以日本的话 after they joined the ranks of Western powers, 他们呢这个开始呢变成中国最大的威胁 the biggest threat. Because they wanted a land, your home. Of course, they wanted to reap profit from doing trade, but it's a secondary goal. Okay, primary goal land. 对，好，在下边对这个由这个William 念念啊。
在甲午战争爆发前夕，主张多年，当时高龄72岁的李鸿章看到清朝薄弱的军力，自知实力不足，
对，
立柱和希望争取时间积极备战。
好，就到这地方。It's a good place to take a break. Yeah. 在一开始的时候 ，toward the beginning of this part, you have 甲午战争。甲呢 and 午 together, these two characters, okay, are the words used by the Chinese, okay, traditionally to refer to the time, a year in this case, okay. So it's the particular year designated by these two characters, 甲午, okay, in the 19th century. Okay, that's a first 中日战争, first Sino-Japanese War. Okay. 在它中间这个 moving toward the middle of this part, okay, 爆发。爆的话 you have on the left fire, okay. That's the meaning of the character, okay. To explode or explosion, normally it's related to fire, especially dynamite, gunpowder. Okay. 在右边 phonetic symbol, 它的上边 on the top is a sun, brilliant, dazzling sun. 下边呢 at the bottom, you have the character 共. It's an image of actually two hands, meaning together, okay, working together. And then at the bottom, you have 4 strokes there, representing grains, as grains, rice grains, or grains of cereals. Okay? And so it's a common image of placing rice under the brilliant, dazzling sun, okay, to dry up the grain. Okay, that's what the farmers usually do. And so from the exposure of rice grains or cereal, okay, to the sun, okay, brilliant sun, one gets the sense, okay, the character brutal. The Arabs know how brutal the sun could be if they stay in the desert for a while. Okay? So that's what this character means, brutal, related to the sun. And the meaning, brutality of the sun, is, of course, related to explosion. 发, take off, synonyms, okay? So outbreak, okay? Or used as a verb, break out. 对，好，在下边那个第二个逗点的后边 after the well actually yeah after the second comma, okay, in the quotation, 对， the last character, okay, 竹 it's based on the footprint at the bottom, and then on the top it looks like a fortress, but actually it's an image of a thigh. The picture that we have drawn before, okay. So it's a character for foot, okay. used as an adjective means adequate, enough. Okay, that means one's foot, okay, adequate in carrying one from place to place. Okay, you don't need a vehicle. Okay? Of course, if you have one, so much better. But if you have 2 feet, then that does the job. So 足 means sufficient, adequate. 好，在下边 and then 2 commas down, okay, beginning with 希望争取，对，争 we just went over the image, like fight, struggle, strive, okay, 取 synonym, 取这个字我们说过了啊。Did we go over the image of 取? You have a hand like a bird's claw on the right, and then on the left, there's an image of an ear character for ear. So it's a compound image of a hand grab hold of ear. 什么意思啊？ Did we go over this character? 没有印象，没有，对。That's actually a character created during the so-called Warring States period. From the name, you can tell that people were at war constantly. Okay? And at that time, different rules, of course, have been created to encourage people to slaughter their enemies. Okay? And if a person, okay, can somehow kill one enemy, they can first cut off the right ear of the enemy that one has killed, and then bring the ear back for a reward. If one wants to claim a reward, one has to present the ear. So that's the reason why you have this image created, okay? That means to acquire, by implication, wealth or promotion, okay, or to obtain. 所以争取 literally means to fight for, okay, and then to acquire, to obtain. 叫争取。对。好，这个地方这个 William 翻一翻啊。
Yeah. So on the eve of the outbreak of the Sino-Japanese War,
对。
what's his Ling Hongzhang?
对，李鸿章。
So something like took control. Li Hongzhang had taken control of the government for many years.
对对。
And saw the Qing dynasty's weak military strength.
对 ，and then 当时高龄72岁。
For 72 years.
对，高龄呢是这个
old age. He was 72 years old.
对 ，72 years old. Okay, who?
Okay, so the 72-year-old Li Hongzhang took control of the
who had been in
charge of the government for many years. Saw the Qing dynasty's weak military strength.
对。
自治势力不足。Their strength was not adequate. Their strength was not adequate.
对，
自治 to know yourself.
自呢 that's a short form for 自己。
Yeah, 自己。
对 self. Okay.
Yeah.
So it means the self, and it means they themselves or he himself knew 自知
knew they did not have adequate strength.
对。
Knew they did not have adequate strength. And advocating for a peaceful solution.
对对。
Advocating for a peaceful solution. Oh no, I just lost track where I was. Hoping and striving in a determined and forceful manner.
对，
I'll keep losing track of where I am.
希望
也希望
争取
争取
时间，
时间积极 determined and forceful.
对，
Determined and forceful.
嗯，
So hoping and striving forcefully to be prepared in time.
对对，这个争取时间啊，这个 to strive for time in the sense of play for time. They need time to strengthen themselves. 积极备战啊 ，meanwhile they want to prepare for war in a forceful
To buy
manner.
time so hoping for a peaceful solution. So striving for a peaceful solution, hoping to buy time to prepare, and hoping to buy time to prepare.
对对，是这个意思啊。好，这个叶安娜再念一句啊。
27岁的光绪皇帝年轻气盛，主张立即开战，如同宋朝年轻激进的我忘了神宗希望瞬间取得胜利，战果一般。
对，
结果清朝战败。
对，很好啊。这个 toward the end right before the last comma, 战果，战呢 on the right you have the character for lance, halberd, okay, spear, and on the left that's phonetic symbol, okay, the character means war or battle, okay. 果呢 means fruit, as in 水果，苹果 is the image of a tree at the bottom, and on the very top you have the round image of the fruit, okay. So 战果 means literally fruit or war, okay. That normally refers to trophy, 对，战果。好，这个地方这个先翻一翻，然后我们再解释好了。对，这个叶安娜对。
OK， 27岁的光绪 ，The 27-year-old Emperor Guang Xu was young and like had a lot of vitality, young and vigorous.
对。
主张立即 wanted to immediately start the war, or like start the battle.
对。
如同宋朝年轻激进。Let me see, what is radical 激进。宋朝so Song Dynasty's young radical 神者希望瞬间神者
神宗
神宗是什么？
神宗是这个皇帝的名字。对 ，the emperor's name。对。
Okay. So the young radical emperor 神宗
对
wished to gain victory, like very quick, like swift victory.
对 ，swift victory.
胜利 war to like gain the war.
对 结果呢 literally means yield to yield fruit. Okay. 结果的 means in the end.
Yeah.
对。
那个就是战果一般。What does that mean? 这个一般。
战果 literally means a fruit of war. Okay. Trophy. Okay. Outcome of war normally triumph. Okay. The outcome of war. Okay. So.
How does it?
He hoped to have a swift victory. Okay. Literally 瞬间 in a twinkling moment. Okay. So that's the reason why he advocated a war. Yeah.
But then in the end, the Qing dynasty lost, or 战败。
败。
Yeah.
Bai has a hand on the right holding a stick, a tool, and on the left is an image of a shell, as in seashell. So it's a compound image of when using the stick to smash the seashell. That means crush. That means to defeat. Okay. 所以呢，这个 here used in the passive voice. Okay. It means was defeated. 清朝战败。对啊 There are a number of characters we can go over. Okay. And next time, since our time is running up. Okay. So 好，这个部分有没有什么问题 ？Up to this point， 没什么问题啊。对，好，没什么问题的话，你们继续保重啊。Take care of yourself. Okay, we will end our session here. 再见。
谢谢老师，再见。
好，多谢。对，
谢谢老师，再见。
好，再见。